Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions. Wow, I still can't believe I'm gonna say this season 4. I still cannot believe we're literally 4 seasons in. Kahit na wala naman may gusto. But I also feel like parang kada kada season, parang lalo na ngayon, like from season 2 to this current season, parang it's like encapsulating a journey, the journey of a lifetime. And um I want to tell you something that happened just recently. Kasi as you may have known, like for the past 3 episodes, that the interview has really made me has been really 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 hard. Like the aftermath of it is just so epic. So hindi rin ako masyadong nakakagawa ng mga dapat kong gawin. Parang nangyari is executive dysfunction yung peg ni bakla. So alam mo yung parang part of it is like writer's block. Like wala akong maisip kung like hindi ko maisip kung paano ita-type. And my mom was like suggesting the other day na kumuha akong ghostwriter. And I will use AI, but I will not use a ghostwriter. Siguro, if I ever do, parang ang ano lang, is need niya akong tulungan mag-research kasi bobo ako guys sa research. It's honestly one of the most, lalo na pag ganitong ka-intense yung research, no. You will not make me do super intensive research. Kasi nakakabobo talaga. Sa totoo lang, nakakabobo niya. Like, ang dami kong kailangan basahin, ang dami kong kailangan intindihin. Na parang, hindi kaya ng utak ko, tapos I'm dealing with so much. So, it's basically like really, really overwhelming. By the way, ito pala nakikita nyo, this is my childhood blanket. And I'm using it kasi medyo mainit ngayon. Kaso kasi ang problema sa sa damit ko is sobrang nipis. If you've already seen past episodes of MMS, kita nyo naman 'di ba? Sobrang nipis ng damit na to. Kaya ako may kumot na nakatalukbong. And I went to school last Monday. Parang nakaugalian ko na nga pumunta ng school every Monday para magpo-consult ng thesis, to like tell somebody kung ano na bang ganap. But this when I came to school last Monday, hindi ako sure who should I talk to. Should I talk to Yayoi? Should I talk to Chihaya? I was initially thinking of talking to Chaya kasi may sinend akong email sa kanya the other day na sabi ko, I really needed help. Like, real help. And I was hoping na when I go there, ewan ko, basta I just hope something would happen when I went there. Pero naisip ko din na it's been 3 weeks. It's been nearly a month. And it's still really, really bugging me. To the point na hindi ako makapag-isip ng kung anong idudugtong ko sa thesis ko. So, I decided to talk to Yayoi. And finally loop her in about what happened 3 weeks ago. But the thing about that is, I'm so glad that there was somebody else na nag-consult ahead of me. Like, there were a couple of people that consulted before me. So I asked Yayoi if we could talk in private kasi, like, the nature of this thing is too damn personal, it's too damn sensitive. And there are guys that still do not know, and probably like ilulup ko na lang sila pagdating ng defense. If that's even gonna happen. Ayoko dun, in short. Like, it's so, honestly, like, it's so scary, like, being seen so vulnerable. Like, if you remember, back in episode 1, back in our season premiere, even to Claude, I was scared, you know? That was already my interviewee. Like, that was Claude. Like, hindi ko naman ine-expect eh. I mean, I was kind of actually expecting it. I was really expecting it, pero I wasn't expecting it to hit that hard to the point where it's just indescribable fear, like, really consuming me. And I told Yayoi about that, and thank God kasi naiintindihan niya. Naiintindihan niya kasi I think she really knew, she was aware of how important this thing is to me. She knew na, alam niyo yun, parang ayaw niyang what do I call this? Like, ayaw niyang mag-defense ako in that kind of state, in that very, very fragile state. Kasi, yun talaga yun eh. It was really the fragility of it. I still feel it, and it still haunts me so bad na hirap talaga ako. Loki, sana naintindihan ni Ritsuko yun, pero Loki, sana naintindihan niya yun. Like, I wasn't being a bitch. I wasn't, like, lazing around. It's called executive dysfunction, girl. I couldn't function even if I wanted to. Parang ngayon nga, like, I'm just, like, literally crawling myself to the finish line ng peg eh. Lalo na ngayon. Like, in this state, it's literally crawling to the finish line. Kasi hanggang, like, up until this point, I've always felt detached from it, from the experience itself. That's why when I tell these stories, when I tell that story, it's very casual. Like, I could just drop it. Like, no one would know I drop a bombshell. Walang makakaalam na bomba pala yung hinulog ko sa sa Hiroshima. Okay, that was kind of an insensitive joke, but you get the analogy. They won't even know that that was a literal bomb drop. You know? Parang, okay. Ginanyan ako. Tapos. That's the thing eh. That's the thing. It's being detached in a way na parang you're like the journalist that's just telling the story. Pero kwento mo yun eh. Kwento mo yun eh. Pero parang may distansya talaga. Like, it happened to somebody else. That's not me. And I was explaining that to Yayoi. And I mean, hindi ako masyadong detalye sa nangyari. Pero siguro pag dating ng season premiere ng season 4, pagdating ng April 13, maririnig niya yung buong detalye ng kung anong nangyari. And this is not undermining Claude's insights. His insights were very valuable. It's just that it was the first time that I've ever confronted that kind of reality. And to realize that that has been your reality all along. You know, parang ito yung buhay mo. Ito yung kwento mo. Ito yung kinahaharap mo. Like, this is you. This is you. So, parang when you know that the realization set in, and I was sitting in front of him, na parang ang hirap talaga. Like, honestly, it's just so hard to come to terms with something that you know, but not something you feel. Alam mo aware ka, logically aware ka na eto yung nangyari sa'yo. 'Di ba? Pero hindi mo ramdam kasi may distansya ka dun. But the distance has been virtually broken. There's just no distance. Like, the what do you call this? We've bridged the gap between me, who knows that she's a victim, versus the reality where she feels that she's a victim. Yun yung pinagkaiba eh. And I don't think a lot of people understand just how incredibly hard this has been. Because this is not just months of repression It's literally years. Like, my memories of it are still fuzzy to this day. And I haven't felt like I was there. You know? Na parang, as in, ngayon lang talaga siya nag-settle in. Kasi, like, you were in front of a journalist who happens to be a guy. And you're like really afraid that, you know, baka may kung isang mali sa'yo. Diba? Parang sa akin, the way that everything just clicked for me, the way that everything just clicked into place and made me realize na this is you. It's not somebody else. That's not somebody else's story. That is your story. Kwento mo yan. Thesis mo yan. I've always known that it was something important. I've always known it to be a part of my life. But being confronted with that reality is just so devastating. It's so heartbreaking. Even my heart was broken. And I'm the person that was wronged. And buti na lang, Yayoi understood all of that. Um, Sabi ko, hindi ko talaga kaya. As much as I want to continue, hindi ko talaga kaya. I've just been dealing with so much pain, so much shame and guilt and embarrassment all in one place. Like, how? And I have to write a thesis? I have to write the fourth chapter? With that much to think about? Like, buti sana kung hindi, hindi buti sana if it wasn't a crime. If it wasn't a violation of me as a person, right? It would have been much easier to digest, but it was not. It's not. And I wish, like, Vitsuko would especially understand that. Like, girl, if you ever hear this, it is time for you to shut the fuck up and listen to me. Kasi hindi naman ako nag-iinarte lang. Di sana nag-ano na ako, diba? I would have dropped a long time ago. But I'm not. I'm still here, Kasi minsan yun nakaka-disappoint. Like, these are the people that are supposed to support you, diba? Pero ang ending, sila din yung nagpapababa sa'yo. They're the ones that shame you. They're the ones that don't lift you up. It's just sad. And as much as I love her, parang naisip ko na it's much better if she does not get in the loop anymore. Like, it's probably just gonna be Yayoi and Chaya and me from now on. And the conversation last Monday kind of made me realize na ramdam na, she is there. She has been there. She never ever ever gave up. Even when I was being a total ass prick to her, she stayed and she fought for me. And alam niyo, yun yung gusto ko eh. I wanted someone to fight for me. Kasi pagod na akong lumaban. Pagod na akong lumaban. Hindi halata sa mukha ko, hindi halata sa katawan ko, pero pagod na ako lumaban. I can't always be at the receiving end of people's remarks, of people's negative opinions and criticisms. I can't be always the scapegoat. Alam niyo yung meme na may military man, tapos sinasalo niya lahat ng kutsilyo? That was me. That is me. Hindi pwedeng nagre-receive na lang ako lagi. I can't be a wallflower. It's getting tiring to be a wallflower. Kasi parang hindi nila nalalaman yung impact eh. Hindi nila nare-realize na nakakasakit na sila ng tao. And they just keep dropping bombs like it's another Tuesday. But what they don't know is that it's literally offensive. It's literally invalidating to the other person who's working so hard to finish strong. Kasi hindi lang naman to basta thesis lang eh. This is not just my thesis. It's a journey. It's a journey to understand the answers that I have so longed to have answers for. And most people do not understand that. They don't understand that just in the last month alone, I have cried 6 times. Like, really bad cries. I tell you. When I say that this episode is so much worse than the panic attacks, I really do mean it. Hindi ako nagbibiro. Kasi yun, shutdown pa yun eh. I just shut down eh. 'Di ba? Kung naalala nyo. Nag-shutdown lang ako nung sinukuhan ako ng advisor ko. Nag-shutdown lang ako nung namatay yung panelist ko, yung umalis yung isa, tapos umalis din yung technical critic ko. Nagsiyalisan silang lahat. But Yayoi and Chihaya are the only ones who stayed since the beginning, and I'm so glad that they did. And I'm so glad that I could confide in them, really. Kasi sobrang hirap na mag-isa. It is tiring to carry all the burdens on your own. I know they won't be of much help, Yayoi especially. But they heard and they understood, and that's all that I wanted. That's all I needed. And you know what? The last, when our conversation, when the conversation with Yayoi ended. By the way, this took place sa second floor. Since may tao nga doon sa may conference area, and thank God there was somebody in there. So kami lang dalawa. And sabi ko, can I hug you? And I just completely broke down. I just broke down in her arms. And we stayed in that position for like a good few minutes kasi iyak ako ng iyak. Like, so much so, guys, naka-makeup ako ha. Naka-skin, like, I have a full face of makeup on. Tumulo, like, a portion of it transferred through the mask that I was wearing that time. Some of it transferred through the mask, and I kept the mask. Hindi ko siya tinapon. Kasi simbolo siya ng gaano kasakit na namumulat ka na sa realidad na hindi mo naman ginusto, but you have to endure through it. You have to power through kasi yan na yung kagigisnan mo eh. Parang ang kaakibat nun lagi eh, biktima ka. Alam mo yun, like, hanggang ngayon, ang sakit-sakit pa rin. It's just so indescribable that, you know, it haunts me every single day. Ngayon nga, hindi na ako makalabas ng walang mask. Like, hindi ako makaalis ng hindi nagsusuot ng face mask. Kasi sobrang... Parang feel ko basag na ako. As in, basag ako. Basag ako, sobrang vulnerable ko na I couldn't navigate the world around me if I don't have something to protect me. Physically now. Kasi it used to be a metaphorical mask, you know? Now it's a physical one. It's manifested. That fear is manifested into a physical form. That's why I've been covering up a lot lately. Even nung interview, actually. My interview, I was decked out. I had long sleeves. I had a black sweatshirt, a long skirt, and boots. Tapos may sombrero at face mask pa ako. Pero di ko naman expect na mag-persist yun eh. Kasi kala ko one-off lang eh. Kala ko talaga one-off lang. Pero hindi, iyak ako ng iyak ng walang katapusan. And it's just been so much worse. That, you know, parang like, grabe, parang hindi ko maipaliwanag yung takot na nararamdaman ko. Basta alam ko takot ako. Yun na yun. I just couldn't explain it further than I have to. And I don't want to tell the story more than I have to. Kahit, like, you know what? Actually, hindi na nga rin ako masyado nakakapagsalita. When I go out, nagtatype na lang ako sa phone. Like, I want to show you something. This is what I wrote the other day. And if you see here, it says, I don't feel like talking, so I'll just type it out. Kasi feel ko pa walang boses na nalabas sa akin pag may tao. And I'm too fragile to speak of the hurt. I'm too fragile to speak of the pain. To like, let it come to life through the words that I speak. It's hard. Kaya sa faculty lately, hindi ako masyado makapagsalita. Kasi sobrang takot ako. At sobrang hirap. Sana nga talaga nag-iinarte lang ako. But no, this is a piece of me. I'm showing you a piece of me. This is the most vulnerable I have been in my entire life. And like in just 24 short years of living, I've had to go through so much pain. It's hard to understand that. And kaya nga rin takip na takip ako lately eh. Kaya nga nakikita nyo tong kumot na to eh. Pero I think, and I hope, na sana sa pagtatapos ng pagsusulat nito, ng thesis na to, I come out a better person. I come out a resilient person. I come out a stronger person. I come out not letting this very horrifying experience define me. But for now, I'll probably hide. I'll probably shrink. I'll still cover my face. Kasi that's what I need eh. I'll carry all these burdens on my own. And if I don't, then I'll tell somebody. I'll let them help me, 'di ba? When I lend somebody a piece of me, maybe just maybe they would understand that this is more than just a thesis and a graduation project. This is my reality now. And I'll have to live with it. Napakabigat ng season na to. And sana maintindihan ng mga tao makikinig sa podcast na to. Na hindi madaling maglabas ng episodes na ganito kabigat. But unfortunately, this is the reality now. This is my reality now. And I want to share that reality with you. I want to document this journey with you. Because maybe, just maybe, this will change somebody's perspective about things. This will make them understand how complex trauma is. And sana, magamit nila yung mga lessons na matutunan dito. You know, to better their perspective about the world. And that ends today's episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.